Welcome to the Genian NAC video series. Video release notes for Genian NAC version 5035. New features and enhancements. Among the new features and enhancements to be covered is the Policy Server AMI that has been added to the AWS Marketplace, the ability to assign or change a switch port via enforcement policy. A link has been added for the SNMP configuration page to the switch port view in the UI, and the Cisco-AVPair attribute has been added to the default radius attribute list. There are multiple ways to obtain information regarding the new Genian's Policy Server AMI available on the AWS Marketplace. We can start by looking at genians.com/news. Here's where we have all of our latest news articles, including the article that covers the policy server that is now available on the marketplace as an AMI. If we click on this article, you'll get background information about all of the benefits of this new product, as well as other links. There's a link to the actual product on the marketplace, a link to a video, a sizing guide, and a link to our Genian Slack community so you can sign up for support if you run into any issues while testing out this option. Under the Products menu, if you select Cloud Managed NAC, that will take you to our Cloud Managed NAC page, which covers various cloud deployment options. For this option, we'll be talking about your cloud on AWS. Another hyperlink to the product on the marketplace, and here's an instructional video. This video is approximately 20 minutes long and covers all of the details to deploy an EC2 in your own private cloud from the Genian NAC Policy Server AMI. In addition, it also covers how to link an on-prem sensor to the EC2 that you launched from the AMI to detect nodes on your local network. Above and beyond that, it also covers the ability to upgrade from the free AMI to trial versions of professional and enterprise feature sets for Genian NAC. To review the SNMP VLAN assignment via enforcement policy, from the main dashboard, click on Policy, then click on Enforcement Policy. Here you will see a list of all enforcement policies, the number of nodes matching on the policy, whether the policy is enabled or not, what node group definitions match on the policy, as well as permissions. For example, we will look at the Ripple 20 enforcement policy. Here you will find node group definitions for any nodes affected by the Ripple 20 vulnerabilities. And then under the enforcement options here, there are several different sections. Permissions are applicable for ARP enforcement. Captive portal is if you want to display a captive portal to the end user if they fail the policy. Switch port control, which we will cover here in a moment, is applicable for this feature. Radius control allows you to set various radius attributes. And then agent actions allow you to utilize the agent to perform an action. For this particular feature, we've enhanced the switch port control section of the enforcement policy. Previously, port shutdown was the only option. So if a node mashed on the enforcement policy and failed it, you could shut down the port. The new feature includes the ability to assign a port via SNMP. So, this allows you to assign the VLAN to the port. You can select SNMP version 2C or 3. You can add a write community and then add the desired VLAN. Once you click Update, this will be live. Once this is configured, any node that matches on this enforcement policy and fails the policy will then be assigned to this particular VLAN. This will override the existing default VLAN or existing configured VLAN on the port, and that switch port will now be in VLAN 100 as long as this node matches on this policy. To review the SNMP configuration enhancement for switch management from the main dashboard, under Management, click on Switch. Here you'll see all the switch ports listed for all switches that have been added via SNMP. If we use this switch port as an example, clicking on the port, we'll see a message that indicates that a write community must be added in order for additional configuration options to be set. The improvement includes a hyperlink directly to the switch entry and the SNMP configuration section. Here you'll note there is only a read community entered. If you add a write community and click Update, that will allow you to configure additional options. By contrast, if we look at a switch that has been configured with a write community and we click on a switch port, we will see the additional section with more configuration parameters. Here, you could add a description, you could down a port, or you could assign a VLAN. When you click the Send SNMP command button, these configurations will be applied to the switch port. There is also an option to set the default VLAN for the switch port. To view the new Cisco-AVPair radius attribute, from the Policy menu, click on Radius Policy. Under Radius Policy, you'll see a list of pre-configured policies. These policies are utilized for the most common scenarios in most environments. However, you can configure custom policies to meet your environment. Inside of the Radius Policy Configuration Wizard, underneath the Policy section, you have the option to accept or reject based on the policy. For the accept, you can also assign an attribute. Here you'll see a list of pre-configured default attributes. These include very common attributes such as VLAN, several common Cisco-AVPair attributes, and this is the new generic Cisco-AVPair attribute. This allows you to basically enter any supported value for your NAS that accepts the Cisco-AVPair attribute with the desired value. Once added, you can click Create and it will create the policy with that attribute. There's also many other non-Cisco attributes in the list as well, including filter ID, NAS filter rule, session timeout, terminate action, and a direct input attribute which allows you to enter any attributes supported by any particular NAS and any vendor depending on your situation. For more information on software releases, features, news, blogs, or to ask a question, visit genians.com.